Here comes YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. How's everybody doing? Good morning. We are fresh back from the Sun Princess. I don't want to take my medallion off because once I do, vacation's over. So as long as this is on, we can pretend that vacation is still happening. Although my barista has not shown up this morning to make me my morning coffee, so that is one sign that maybe we're not on the ship anymore. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Brandy. We got Sue. We got Eric. We got Peggy, Christy. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? If you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor, and we book cruises, land, luxury, and expedition. And as I've been saying already, we are right off the amazing Sun Princess. I don't want to take my medallion off because I want to just pretend that I'm still on vacation and still there with my amazing group. We took 37 people on the ship. And by all accounts, everybody had a great time. Was it perfect? No. But by all accounts, everybody had a good time. So wherever you're watching me right now, I invite you to subscribe, to share, to like, do all those wonderful things that the social media platforms love for you to do. And also, if we can help you with your travel, just reach out at where'swaltertravel.com, or wherever you are watching me right now. There will be links in my profile, or there's going to be links in the description. Kurt, oh my goodness, you are so kind. Kurt is saying, best cruise ever. Love it. Thank you, Walter and Rebecca. You're having withdrawals. See, I am too, Kurt. That's why I'm still wearing it. I'm just pretending. If I close my eyes, I can just pretend that I'm still on the ship. And of course, I shot about, I think, 10 hours worth of footage from the ship and the ocean. So we'll all be able to kind of relive being on board the ship very soon. Hey, Becky, how you doing? Good morning. Cheryl's here. Everybody's here. Brandy, you scheduled a call for Wednesday. Yay! I'm so excited, Brandy. Thank you so much, and thank you so much to everybody who has supported us. We celebrated 2 years of Where's Walter Travel on the ship. We just didn't plan it that way. It just kind of worked out that we had our second anniversary on the ship, and our second anniversary was actually, we were at Spellbound. For that evening. Didn't even plan that either. just kind of worked out. So we were on Spellbound for our actual anniversary. So we're going to talk about that and a lot more. We were cordially invited to an extraordinary experience. Oh, it was so much fun. But how's everybody doing? So if you're new to the channel, I am Walter, your independent travel agent, and we do this every Sunday morning. We come on for about an hour and a half, talk about all things cruising, cruise news, cruise adventures. We're going to talk about our group cruises, and today we're going to be predominantly talking about the Sun Princess, which looks something like this. Almost exactly like that. This is the ship that they sell in the store.
It's missing the dome and the sphere, but otherwise.
It's missing the dome and the sphere and about 10 more decks, but otherwise, this is pretty much what it looks like. I was so happy. You know, I love getting inflatable ships, and we did have a Princess ship, but I had an issue with it, so this one is like perfect. I'm so excited to have another inflatable ship. So welcome to the show. So let's talk about Sun Princess. Let's talk about anything you guys want to talk about. And good morning to all 37 who were on the ship with us. Thank you so much for making it a most amazing cruise. I'm so freaking excited. So thank you. Hey, good question here. Hey, Oslo. By the way, I have a little bit of a hard time seeing your actual names. My apologies, because I have these two big bright lights here so you guys can actually see me. Witchy Woman, I think, they said, do people still dress for formal nights on the Sun Princess? There were actually quite a few people. I think there were more than I think I've seen in the past.
Well, I don't know. I'd say maybe about 30% got really dressy.
Yeah.
Another 30% got moderately dressed.
But
and then 30% just
I did see some tuxedos. I did still see some tuxedos,
some gowns.
among the older crowd, obviously.
Well,
but then
some people wanted to get pictures taken.
Yeah. So I did see, especially the ones who were getting pictures taken. They definitely made an effort. But we had everything from business casual to tuxedos. That basically we had, and then even if people just shorts and t-shirts, people who were going to the buffet. So you still can get really dressed up and get those pictures done on the Sun Princess, and my goodness, it is just absolutely beautiful on that ship. What do I think about trying to get the diamond status on Royal Caribbean? If that's important to you, then go ahead. The thing that I always say to people when you are considering, do I want to go for a certain level on a cruise line, is just look at those perks. How much would they cost you just to get? just if you pay for
Well-
them on a cruise, and then how much will it cost you to get them for free? Like how many cruises are you going to have to take? So some people are like, oh, I'm going to get free Wi-Fi, but if that costs you $150,000 to get the free Wi-Fi,
Well, I will admit,
know,
Royal Caribbean's
but-
nice because once you get to Diamond and then you get 4 free drinks, non-alcoholic or alcoholic, whatever you prefer.
That's true.
A day. And, it goes up for each status, how many drinks you get. And that is kind of nice
That is
because
a
the
little
Royal
something.
Caribbean drink packages can be quite pricey.
Yeah.
If you're not a big drinker, I think it's a good, I mean, we are really close to there, but only because of
Yes.
our celebrity status.
right.
I think basically one cruise away on Celebrity, and we'll have Diamond on Royal.
Yes, yes. So, I always tell people if it's important to you or you feel like the perks are worth it, then go for it. We've never really been of the mind, let's get loyalty somewhere. There's over 300 cruise ships out there. I want to try to sail all of them. So I'm more interested in the ships and the destination than I am trying to build loyalty. We are kind of building loyalty along the way because this was our 6th time on Princess. So we're platinum, although because I'm travel agent and I completed certain training, I'm actually elite when I'm on the ship, which is kind of nice. So that's totally a personal decision. If you think the perks are worth it to stay on that one cruise line for a while, then absolutely do that. Good morning, Chrissy. Good morning. Do I have an overall favorite cruise line? It's absolutely true what I say. Whatever ship I'm currently on, that's my favorite ship in the world. So last week, that was the Sun Princess. No, I don't have an overall favorite cruise line. And that's the honest truth. We go on different cruise lines for different types of vacations. So, on Princess, we know we're going to get high-end service. We're going to get really good food. And when we go on Royal Caribbean, we know there's a lot of things to do. When we go on Azamara for Christmas, we know there's only going to be 700 of us on the ship, and it's going to be very relaxed and chilled. So thank you for sending somebody to the page. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Sun Princess. So Rebecca, kind of keep up on the questions going on over there. And I'm going to just try and talk a little bit about the Sun Princess because that's where we just left yesterday. We had 7 lovely nights. We were on the ship with 37 of our guests. The ship was full. Basically, it was over 4,100 guests. The ship is supposedly maxed out at 4,300. So we had over 4,100 guests. The very first thing I will say is that the ship did not feel crowded. There were areas, there were some choke points and there were some venues where obviously the venues were small or the hallways were narrow. That absolutely, and of course the buffet during busy times, yes, it was like Grand Central Station at times, but overall, you could move about the ship quite easily, and that was really impressive about the whole ship. So even though it's their biggest ship, even though we had over 4,100 people, we had plenty of room to move about. There were even lots of chairs around the pool, which was kind of nice. Like you could pretty much get a lounge chair almost any time of the day, or you could go up to the deck above on the sun deck and get yourself some chairs. So that was nice.
Lots of nice seating.
Lots of nice seating everywhere on the ship.
Yeah, like even outside the eatery, which is their version of the buffet,
Yes.
there was nice tables and chairs outside. Plus, there was also just nice chairs and comfy
Yeah.
sofas and things to sit
It was
at.
a very sociable ship, that I will say. Very sociable ship, very easy just to start a conversation with fellow guests and hang out. So it was really nice, and it's outward facing, so there was just natural light everywhere on the main deck. So that was really nice. There's some areas of the older ships where it kind of gets dark. You're inside a hallway, you're inside the ship, but here it was very outward facing, which is kind of the new thing, which is great. So that was awesome. Alex and Zachary are here. Good morning. Good morning. Betty, hey, I'm glad you guys made it home okay. Zachary was on the ship with us as well. Anybody else here was on our ship? No, but Peggy will be with us soon. Eric will be with us soon. And Kurt, of course, Kurt was on the ship. It's so nice to actually meet you guys, and actually because you guys see me, I don't get to see you. So let's go down some of our hits and misses with the ship. And I will say, Kurt, your wish is Princess's command. Kurt just said, I wish O'Malley's was bigger. O'Malley's Irish Pub was a very small space, and you either had to get in there real early or later. On the Star Princess, they're adding 35 seats. So they are making that venue larger. And there were a couple other changes that Princess announced. and I didn't bring them with me, but they did issue a press release with some of the changes, and some of the things are getting a little bit bigger, which is good. So there's going to be a little bit more space. So Kurt, they already heard you. They're making O'Malley's bigger. I don't know if
Thanks for making them do that, Kurt.
See, Kurt, it was your suggestion that did it. So let's talk about the hits and misses on the, hey, Josie and Christina, how are you? I'm glad you made it home okay. Josie was on her very first cruise with her daughter, Christina, and we had a blast getting to know them. I hope you guys had a good time getting to know us as well. So, yeah, what an awesome time. And Josie, we got to get you on another cruise soon, so... Hey, Nene, how are you? So, hits and misses on the, hey, Cindy and Saul made it home too. Hey, guys, good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. And thanks so much for coming on the cruise. Oh, my gosh. I've got footage and stuff and photos to share soon. But, so, number one hit, I love the Cod Balcony. The Cod Balcony was first time staying in a Cod Balcony. If you've not seen the Cod Balconies, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, you can see the picture of the ship there. The Cod Balconies are actually below the lifeboats. The lifeboats are up on deck 7, 8, I think 8, 7. They're up on, I think they're on deck 7, and we're on deck 6, so we're actually below the lifeboats. And I mean close enough to the water line that if you wanted to be banned for life, you could go fishing off the side of it, but you're never going to be invited back on the ship. But it was such a cool experience being down that low, and you know, getting to, I just loved the view. It was like having this big, massive ocean view window that you could step out onto. So it was really awesome. Now, when the weather's rough, like it was when we left Fort Lauderdale, there will be a salt spray kicking back because, I mean, it's just plowing back. And I also noticed there's big, heavy, watertight doors. So far, the tour is only on TikTok, but it's coming to YouTube as well. But they have these massive watertight doors that will close over top of the door that leads out to the balcony. So, you know, if the weather really gets rough and the waves start crashing over the side, well, then they're going to close that off.
And then one other
Yes.
thing to note, unlike balconies up higher, there are balconies that connect, but you'll only connect with one other balcony. You can't string together like a row of 3 or 4.
Yeah, that was actually educational for me. I didn't realize that until we got on the ship, but every other balcony connects on a Cod Balcony. You know, up on the main row of balconies, until they hit a firewall, you can just open up as many balconies as you want. But on the Cod, it's like every other one because there's a steel wall, I guess, to protect because of the waves and all of that stuff. Zachary actually makes a good point here. He said maybe the Star Princess will actually open fun stuff on the top. Zachary, they are opening up pickleball courts, and there was one other thing that they announced up there as well. So yeah, right now on the Sun Princess at the very top is a dead space. If anybody wants to try to co-host a show with me on TikTok, just don't even bother. You're wasting your time. But up on the top of the Sun Princess, it was supposed to be Park 19. Which was going to be a ropes course, it was going to be a roller glider course, it was going to be some other stuff, and Princess changed their mind, and right now it's just a dead space. And I said when we were on the ship, why didn't they just put some pickleball courts up here? It looks like there's enough room for 4 courts easily, maybe even 6, depending on how they configure it. They did announce that on the Star Princess there will be pickleball courts up on the top, so that's good. So your wish is their command.
Which makes me think that eventually they'll get something going on the Sun
The Sun,
as well.
I mean, they could do it right now if they wanted to. It'd be so easy. It is literally a dead space right now. So
Yeah.
hopefully, because they put it on the Margaritaville Islander, they put a portable court on the Margaritaville Islander. So
Which you do have a Margaritaville question
I
here.
do. PJ 1968. So we'll take a break from Sun Princess. Do I think it's wise to do a Margaritaville cruise? I think it's great to do a Margaritaville Islander cruise. Margaritaville Islander is a fabulous ship. If you're going to go on the Paradise, you need to know that that is essentially a booze cruise because it's like 2 days or 4 days. Very small ship. I don't know that the food quality is as good as it is over on the Islander, so I would definitely highly recommend the Islander. In fact, we have
A group.
yeah, we have a group on Valentine's. We're going out on February 11th for 6 nights. Tony and Jenny B from Lido, Loca are going to be there. We have approximately 150 to 160 people already in the group going on that one, so we got a nice big group going on that one. 6 nights, Key West, Progresso, and Cozumel. And we do still have some cabins at a ridiculous group rate. The breezy balconies are sold out on the entire ship, but we do have other cabins as well.
And I will say, you definitely, while we recommend and will definitely be traveling on the Islander again, don't expect like luxury.
Oh, no, it's not luxury.
Fun
It's
is
fun.
what it is.
It's pure fun. That's all it is. Cheeseburgers are awesome. Sushi is great. The staff is amazing. Non-smoking casino, which we appreciate because we don't smoke. The shows were good. Well, one of the two original shows was really good. The other one was pretty good, but the audience really liked it. But yeah, just a fun ship. A really, really, really fun ship. So yeah, if you want to talk about it, reach out. Okay, so your anniversary's in July. Yeah, they're going to be having 7-night cruises by then. So yeah, if you want to talk about it, we can give you, the good, the bad, the ugly when we talk. If you want to reach out, because I'm very honest. I'll tell you very honestly about that ship. So good morning, Silver Librarian. How are you? Good to see you. Yes, Josie, I will definitely send you some information. So, all right, let's go back to the Sun Princess. We're talking hits and misses from our 7 nights on the ship. So number 1 was the Cod Balcony. Really loved that new Cod Balcony. Number 2 on a hit for me is the new Coffee Currents. They added a new coffee bar, which seems like a small thing, but on all the other Princess ships, the coffee bar is primarily the International Cafe, and you can get lined up. You can get very, very long lines going on, which, by the way, there were still very long lines going on there. I wasn't going to tell anybody, but Coffee Currents was, had very short lines almost the entire cruise. So,
And they also, in the morning, they serve coffee in the gelato stand across from Princess Live.
On sea days.
On sea days.
On sea days.
But still, it's there.
Yeah, so on sea days, you can walk over to Princess Live, and right next to it is the gelato stand. They have coffee as well because they serve affogatos there, which are quite good. But Coffee Currents, great addition. Nice to take some of the pressure off the International Cafe. If you see people lined up at the International Cafe, don't say a word. Just go down to deck 7 and go down to Coffee Currents. Keep it quiet for the rest of us. Shh, be quiet. I would say the biggest miss. Hey, John, how are you? John is here. He had a beautiful, Sanctuary Collection mini suite, which we'll talk about the Sanctuary in just a little bit. But good to see you, John. Our biggest miss, at least for me, the biggest miss on the entire ship was the dome. First of all, when you see the dome on video and you see the pictures of it, it looks like it's huge. It's really not. It's actually a very small footprint on the ship. And what they promised in all the renderings and the pictures was this like beautiful Venetian indoor pool during the day with this beautiful glass dome, and then at night it would turn into a performance venue. It actually has an indoor-outdoor pool. What we actually got was a very small space that looks more like a theater because there's so much production lighting mounted everywhere that it doesn't really have that. To me, it doesn't have that tranquil feel. It has more of a, this is a theater feel. And I thought the aesthetic of the stage is always on top of the pool. Just kind of ruined that aesthetic for me. Rebecca doesn't think it's that big a deal, but for me.
Because it only covered like 3 feet of the pool.
But
That's
just the visual of it. It was just like a stage with these big railings on it. And I'm like, it didn't really do much for me.
I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah, so she didn't mind it at all. Rebecca gives it a big thumbs up. I give it like
I like the pool part of it. As a performance venue, I'm not one of those people who wants to wait, 45 minutes, an hour for a seat.
Yes.
When I'm on a cruise. So we never got into a show there.
Yeah, so that's the downside of it. The people who actually went to the show said it was amazing, said it was absolutely beautiful. It's a 20 to 30-minute show. They have, I think, 3 different shows that they can do up there. But there's no reserved seating, and it is extremely small.
Yeah,
if
even
I were
for
to
Premier.
guess, there's no reserved seating for Premier. That's only in the arena. I would guess maybe 500 people. That might be generous. It might be more like 400 people can fit in there. It's a very small space. So if you want to see the performances in the dome, you've got to queue up at least an hour. Some people were queuing up 90 minutes early to go in. That's just not something that I personally want to do on a cruise. If I can help it. I really don't want to queue up for an hour to see a show. And but those who did see, I know Kurt went and saw it, and he said it was absolutely fantastic. And everybody that we met who went to the shows in the Dome said that the Dome shows were beautiful.
And they do have because in the Dome, it's generally the Cirque performers, the Cirque-like, I don't know if they're actual Cirque, they're performing in the Dome. They also do some shows in the Piazza.
In the Piazza.
So you can see, maybe not the full show, but you can see them perform.
A little something, yeah, in there. So overall, I thought the promise of the Dome was not delivered. They promised that it was just going to be this amazing thing. Now, having been on the Icon of the Seas, for me, the better play would have been to actually cover the whole front of the ship in the Dome, like Icon did with the big overlooking Aqua Dome up on top. That would have created a larger space that could have been better utilized both for the daytime swimming and then the nighttime performances. It would have been much better up there. That's hindsight 2020. The Star's going to be exactly the same. She's going to have the same dome, but it will be interesting to see if they make any modification to how they use the dome. The dome was also closed quite often because they were doing technical stuff in there. They had ladders in there, they had cranes in there, so it was closed. I would say a good part of the time that we were on the ship too. So it was even hard to. Experience it during the day. John is saying that even for the nightclub at night, it was too small. The dance floor was right in front of the stage. I could see that because it's just really not a whole lot of room.
They do use it in the mornings for a yoga class and a stretching class, which it seemed like a nice kind of venue for that.
Yeah, it's a good venue for that. So the Dome, it's a great idea if they can figure it out. What I'm going to suggest to my representative is that maybe like one night they could do like some sort of a premiere show or have a section of it reserved for premiere guests. You wouldn't do that every night because it's too small, but maybe there's one night during the cruise they could do something like that. Kurt is saying they could double the capacity in the Dome just by changing the seats. Very good point. They have these nice, beautiful padded loungers and all of that, and then the seats that they bring in are not like they could really do it theater style, but that's going to create a lot of work. The arena was designed so the seats actually, automatically they come up, down, they reconfigure, they do all of that. The Dome is not set up that way. So
and
good
we had
point,
heard
Kurt.
from several people that the pool and the hot tubs that are right outside are supposed to be adults only. I saw no signage of that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily enforced if that really is the case.
Right.
So-
I see I have a question over here from Megan, so we'll take a break from the Sun Princess for just a moment. What to do in St. Thomas and St. Martin? First time for 2 adults. So St. Martin is a great little island if you've got a Star Wars fan in the house. There is that Yoda guy is a shop.
And a small museum.
Yeah, and a small museum. He is one of the gentlemen who actually helped to make the original Yoda from the original movies. That's a fun little stop. There's a lot of cute little shops and stores. And of course, St. Martin is famous for Maho Beach, which is where the jets land right over your head. And sometimes they take off right over your head, or actually they take off away from you. So Maho Beach is famous. Plus there's, all your usual suspects. You have snorkeling and water sports and catamarans and all that typical stuff. There's also excursion that will take you to the other side of the island.
The French side.
Yeah, because
It's Dutch and French.
Where you come in with the ship, it's going to be the Dutch side. You can also take excursions over to the French side. And
Which, if you like
see
fancy
everything over there.
shopping, I hear that's good for
Yeah,
fancy shopping.
fancy shopping is over there.
And you can do on the Dutch side, you can do the America's Cup racing.
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. And then with St. Thomas, there's a food tour in San Juan called Flavors of San Juan. They have a sister company in St. Thomas called Flavors of St. Thomas. So that's a food tour there.
I think they also have a bar tour as well.
They do. And then, what's that famous beach?
Megan's Beach.
Megan's Beach is the big place to go. I think that's where John went
And
when he was there.
we did the underwater scooter snorkeling sort of thing
Gotcha.
there.
Very cool.
Well, you were there.
Oh, yeah, the Boss. Yeah, the Boss underwater scooter thing. It's good. It's fun to do once. I wouldn't do it again, but it's fun to do once, where you go underwater, you got an electric scooter, you got a big diving bell over your head, so you don't have to know how to dive. So that is a lot of fun.
And then if you do like snorkeling or scuba, I haven't done it yet, you can either take an excursion or take the ferry independently and go over to St. John, which most of the island is a park.
Yeah.
And I understand there's beautiful snorkeling over there.
Yeah, yeah. So great question. Thank you, Megan, for the question. That was awesome. We got a question over here. Have we been on the Escape? Yes, we loved it.
Well, you missed the Mardi Gras. Somebody asked Mardi Gras, question mark.
That was Josie, but she
Oh.
meant the Margaritaville.
Ah,
But have we been on the Escape? Yes, we did, and we really enjoyed it. It's got Food Republic on it, and really good crew. The only thing about that particular class of ship, it has a very small pool area, so it's not that big of a pool area. We tend to hang out on the waterfront, down below on deck 8. That's usually where you're going to find us, down there. Michelle did a Jeep tour driving on the Dutch side.
and French side.
And the French side. It was terrifying driving around. That's why I don't like to drive around over there.
In the Caribbean in general.
Yeah, and they have lots of turnarounds. Yeah, the circles. They have tons of traffic circles in the Caribbean, and they are absolutely terrifying in the Caribbean. So I try not to drive.
Well, and then we've got Mardi Gras versus Celebration. They're basically the same ship.
Yeah, but the Celebration, obviously the newer ship. I have heard that the Mardi Gras is starting to get a little bit rough around the pool area. We noticed when we were on the ship, we were not on it very long after it started, that a lot of that rubberized flooring was starting to crack on the stairs. And I've heard from some travel agents, some of my colleagues, that there's a lot of cracking in that rubberized flooring around the pool area. The Celebration's going to be newer. You might look at the itineraries too, because since the Celebration sails out of Miami, she can do different. She can go a little bit further versus Mardi Gras, which is starting up in Port Canaveral. So I would just take the Celebration just because she's the newer ship. I really want to get on the Jubilee, which is the absolute newest. So let me see over here. Witchy Woman, how is the embarkation process on Princess?
I'd say half good, half bad.
Well, Terminal 2 is kind of a cluster. Terminal 2 in Fort Lauderdale is way too small for the Royal class, let alone the Sun Princess, to come in at 4,000 guests. What's really nice about the embarkation process is that you have the medallion shipped to your house, and you've got the whole everything done online. It is the green lane. Just getting to security, that was the worst part, because everybody has to line up outside the building, and everything was going well until we approached the building, and then they just decided to open up 4 more doors, which just flowed into the same line. So now everybody's trying to compete to get moving forward in the same line. So they've really got to do something with Terminal 2 and better organize how it works inside the building.
Well, once you
and
got
outside.
to security, though, it was a breeze.
Well, that's the thing, once you get through security, Terminal 2 is great, because they're like, oh, green lane, go. And we just walked right on the ship.
Well, they showed your passports, but
Yeah, that was
it.
And we just walked on. We didn't have to stop at the desk. We didn't have to do anything. We just went straight onto the ship. If you're blue lane, because you don't have the medallion, then you got to pick up your medallion first and get onto the ship. But Terminal 2, it definitely needs some help. It needs some help. I don't know what the plans are, but after getting through security, piece of cake. I
Yeah.
love the embarkation
I would say
process.
once we got to security, less than 5 minutes till we were on the ship.
Now, when we went on Sky Princess, there was an elite lane. They didn't have it this time. I don't know why, but when we came onto the Sky Princess last year, there was actually a lane that said elite guests.
Elite and platinum.
Yeah, but they didn't have it this time. So everybody was just in one lane. And then when they opened up all the doors, they're just like, everybody come on in. So, it was a little bit kind of nutty. So, yeah, it was a little bit
But
nutty.
the line, I say, did move a lot quicker than I expected it to, from
Yeah.
the length of it.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Yeah, so it
We've had worse.
did move pretty quickly. Douglas is asking, after experiencing it, would you still recommend a Cod Balcony for Alaska? Yeah, I think it'd be pretty doggone cool in Alaska, actually, being down that low, because, if whales are going to breach, they're going to be coming up right next to you, literally, like right next to you. You may have some dolphins. I think it'd be pretty daggone.
Dolphins
Huh?
in Alaska?
Yeah, Star Princess.
No, dolphins in Alaska.
Oh, I don't know. No?
No.
Okay, so no, Rebecca's saying no dolphins in Alaska.
Might see seals.
Well, you might see them down by Seattle, too. So when you're coming out of there. But yes, I would totally recommend a Cod Balcony in Alaska. Sure, why not? I think it'd be a lot of fun. And Douglas saying celebration was phenomenal, but he had Lee Mason at the time. Lee Mason is now the head of all cruise directors, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool upgrade. All right, I'm going to get through a few more things on the Sun Princess, and then I will come back and answer more of your questions. So another hit on the Sun Princess for us was Lido Eats around the pool on the Lido deck. They always have sliced pizza, and then they have the grill, which is like hamburgers,
Most
hot
of the
dogs, things
ships.
like that. On this particular ship, they made it all Lido Eats. So we had sliced pizza on the left, then we had tacos and shawarma with the next station. Then we had the burgers and hot dogs and sausages, but then we had a salad bar. So all of that was wrapped around on deck 17 on the Lido, which was a really nice addition. And then on the other side of the pool, you had coffee and cones, which had those ridiculous desserts plus coffee.
And that was where the juice bar was as
and
well.
that's where juice bar was, and then that's also where mixed bar was. Mixed bar was on the other side of that. So right there on the Lido, you had a nice little food court, which was wonderful instead of just having the two items. Now, yeah, it did back up at times with lines because everybody was really enjoying it, but I really loved having all of those options right there instead of just two to choose from. So that was a really, really nice addition to it. And also, in addition to Lido Eats, they added sliced pizza and a grill down on the Promenade, which is deck 9 outside of the eatery. So there was a lot of food stations to eat from on this ship compared to, say, the Royal class, or pretty much any other class of ship. There were a lot more included food items, and I think the Lido Eats was a huge, huge hit
And
with
one
a lot
thing
of people.
to be aware of, the pizza up on the pool deck is more thin crust, whereas the pizza down outside of the eatery is more of a thick crust pizza.
Yes.
So it depends on what you like.
Yes, yes.
You've got options.
You do have options.
And of course, there is Alfredo's as well if you want fancier pizza.
John is saying that the burger on deck 9 was incredible. I would say as good as the Mass Grill on Celebrity. Mine was, I had mine on 17. It was okay. Yeah. Joe's saying that he made it from the curb onto the ship in 30 minutes. I know they came a little bit behind us. But yeah, so
So maybe coming early is not a good idea on this
yeah,
side.
maybe cruising in a little bit later might be a little bit of an idea.
Yeah, even just
doing
like
it
noon,
there.
probably.
Yeah. And I'm going to talk about one more hit, and then I'll answer a few more questions that I see here. One of my favorite parts of the new ship was the piazza. So the piazza is huge. What you have to realize, and I haven't confirmed it, folks at Princess haven't said this, but I've heard it from other sources, that this is basically an Excel class ship because it's a Carnival Corporation, and Princess just modified the heck out of it. So the piazza is a full round version of what they have on the Excel class ships as a half circle for that performance venue. Princess made it into a full circle. It is huge. And it is used basically from 9 a.m. till after midnight. There is something going on in the piazza all day long. Now, on all the other ships, you're going to have dancing at night. You're going to have some sort of games during the day, and maybe some other things going on during the day. But because they have, there have been some complaints about the big dual screen in the piazza by some traditional guests who don't like it. What those screens do is it completely transformed how they can use the piazza, because they were running Deal or No Deal. They were running other game shows from the venue because they had the big screen there. But it started off in the morning, usually with Zumba at 9 a.m., and it ended with some sort of party and the band playing at night. And in between, except for just a few times during the day, that piazza usually had something going on. Or if crooners was, the other cool thing they did with the piazza was if somebody was playing, like in crooners or down below or in one of the spaces around, the music was piped into the entire piazza. So that was kind of cool. So they had a great pianist on there, and whenever he was playing in crooners, like it just literally filled up the entire piazza, and the sound system was absolutely fabulous. Yeah.
And then one of the fun things we saw was there was a singer, and they actually used the video screen. He had himself as 4 different backup singers on the video screen. It was kind of fun.
And the 80s party, they were playing the music videos up on the screen. It was absolutely hilarious. The 80s party was great. I don't remember them doing an 80s party in the past. So they're starting to do some things that are different in there. But that piazza was the true heartbeat of the ship. And if you're just looking for something to do, you can probably find something going on in the piazza at all times. So, going back to the questions, you're leaving November 24th on Oasis, what to do in Jamaica. It's been a while since we've been to Jamaica. I don't even know offhand
well, we've
anymore.
done zip lining in Jamaica.
That's true. We did zip lining. That was a lot of fun.
You bought coffee in Jamaica.
We did a rum tour in Jamaica. I remember that. We were drinking rum on the back of the truck. Where was that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, so you don't remember it because you were drinking rum.
That wasn't Jamaica, but that was, we did that one of the other islands.
Okay. And then a lot of people would do Dunn's River Falls. Just know that that can be very, very slippery. But yeah, there's zip lining. If
There's
anybody's
beaches too.
Yeah, there's some good beaches.
And resorts you can go to for a day pass.
Yeah, we honestly have not been back to Jamaica in a while because all the itineraries that we've been going on just haven't gone there. So if anybody's got some ideas for Jamaica, please throw them in. Would love to help out these folks. Art wants to see a mermaid. I know that would be awesome.
Somebody was asking about they're going on the Sun Princess, but there's, I guess, some tropical weather expected. Do you want to talk about it?
I haven't seen that.
But just talk about weather and cruising.
Weather and cruising.
Well,
I'm just messing with my wife. I'm also still tired. We're both still tired from a long cruise. So you're heading to the Sun Princess. So you'll be getting on it on Saturday. And if there's a hurricane or a tropical depression in the Caribbean, the thing that you got to watch for is it going to impact Fort Lauderdale? If it's going to impact Fort Lauderdale, then there could be a situation where actually it happened on the transatlantic, where Milton came in and Sun Princess could not get into Fort Lauderdale. She actually hung out in the Caribbean for 2 more days, like down in the Bahamas or something. And then she came in 2 days later. So that's really the only thing to watch for in terms of a tropical depression or a hurricane is Fort Lauderdale itself going to be impacted, because that's where the ship needs to come in order to disembark passengers and then embark new passengers. If it can't, ship's going to sit out, and then it will come in and you will end up with a shorter cruise. That's always what happened, because they will not change the schedule. They won't do a ripple effect. The next cruise is still going to start the following Saturday, even if your cruise starts late.
you will get a partial refund and maybe something extra for your
You will, yeah.
difficulty.
And Sandra said she had a great time on the Sun Princess, but still finding your land legs. I know, that's the thing. If you've never cruised, or maybe you don't cruise that often, you get the sea legs. You stand up, and you can feel the ship rocking.
But not everybody does.
Not everybody does. And we actually had a relatively smooth cruise. The first night was when the ship was rocking, and then after that, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. So, excuse me, Josie loved Alfredo pizza. And Mike is saying, would you do the Cod Balcony again? 1,000%, absolutely would. What was really cool about it, standing in the room, it was just a big ocean view window, because you're so close to the waterline, you're just looking right down at the water, and then you can just step out. So it's like having a big ocean view that you can step out onto. Now, if you weren't here earlier, the big difference with a Cod Balcony is that, at least on the Sun Princess, only every other one connects. So there's a steel wall that closes in, like solid steel wall that closes in every set of Cod Balconies. So you can open up the two of them, but you can't open up multiple, like up on the upper balconies. I put up to 10 people along a balcony, and just open up all the balconies. But you can't do that on a Cod. You can open up one, and I guess there is a way, because it's technically not a connecting room, it's a connecting balcony. And I don't know, I guess since we know which one we had, we can kind of figure it out from there.
Well, at least that side.
But that is the big difference with the Cod Balconies, that you can't just open them all up. Hey, Christina, how are you? It was so nice to meet you and your mom. We had a great time on the ship. It's one of the coolest things about going on a group cruise, is that they already had, everybody sort of kind of knew each other through Facebook before they even got on. And then we had just a few group events. We don't like to overload it, but we had a few group events where everybody could just kind of get together again, and
If
it
they
was
chose
so
to.
much fun. Yeah. Megan is asking, are there any must-dos or eats on the Wonder? I assume you mean, so there's 2 Wonders out there. There's
Disney Wonder?
actually there's 3 Wonders out there. There's the Carnival Wonder, the Wonder of the Seas, and the
Carnival
Disney
has a
Wonder.
Wonder too?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought they did. I thought maybe they don't, but I thought, or maybe it's Freedom that I'm thinking of. But I'm not sure which Wonder. Royal Caribbean. So I must eat.
I'd say go to our friend Stephanie did the Wonder of the Seas.
She did. I
She
don't know if
has
she ate everywhere.
No, but you can see a lot of the food that she ate. And
Yeah.
she has a series of vlogs on that.
I will say, if you like wings, the wings at Playmakers are amazing. They're actually really, really good. They've got some good restaurants on there. Of course, you're going to want to go see the water show. You're going to want to see the ice show. I don't know what shows are. I think the Effectors, something like that, is up in the main theater. So they have really good entertainment. Really, really good entertainment. So.
Yeah, so go to the Sean and Steph channel.
Yeah, SEAN, Sean and Steph. So, and Cindy was saying it was great that people in the group could help each other, especially helping newer cruisers. Yes, that is so awesome. So awesome. Josie saying, if you go on the Sun Princess, a must-eat is the Darios. So that was awesome. Hey, Donna, how are you? Good to see you.
But I would not recommend Dario's for your last meal of the cruise. It's
pretty heavy.
I didn't eat there, but it's a big meal.
It's a big meal. Let's go back to Sun Princess hits and misses. Another miss for me, and this was kind of sad for me, the Good Spirits Bar. The Good Spirits Bar on the Royal ships, Royal class ship, is fabulous because you're right there in the piazza. You got a really good bar, and then you got all the action of the piazza going on behind you.
Actually at the bar.
And then on this particular ship, they decided to make it a private venue. So first of all, you got to find it. It's not well marked at all. It is up in front of Princess Live on the right, pretty much as you start to enter the Princess Arena. And it's, because it is a private little room, they decided to make it more of a show. So like about every hour on the hour, they will put on some sort of an alcohol cocktail show. And I found it a little kitschy and a little, I think they were trying too hard to be funny. And I just want a really good bar. That's what I really enjoyed about Good Spirits, which is it was a really good bar on the other class ships. So I didn't go to Good Spirits near as much as I thought I would. And in fact, I had scheduled a evening meet in there at 5:30 every night, but we really couldn't do it because they were doing their little show. So it's a minor thing. It's a minor thing. But I was a little disappointed not to be able to enjoy Good Spirits.
But they also do their special paid afternoon tea there, and I thought it was a perfect venue for doing that.
Yes, in fact, that is my next hit, is the Royal Tea. So every Princess ship does afternoon tea in the main dining room. It's actually included with the cruise fare.
We haven't.
Yeah, I think they still do it.
Yeah, okay.
I think they still do it. They did. Honestly, I haven't looked lately, but they did. They did do a included afternoon tea in the main dining room on sea days.
Every day.
Oh, they did it every day?
Mm-hmm.
But now they do the Royal Tea on the Sun Princess. Now, the one little thing that they don't tell you is that you've got to make a reservation, or maybe it says somewhere. But you actually have to go to Coffee Currents. They have a little clipboard.
Sign up sheet.
It's so technologically advanced. They have a clipboard that you sign up on. And you do have to be signed up because they were turning people away at the door because
it's only on sea days.
It's only on sea days, and I think there's about 30 seats in there, maybe 40. And it was really good. It was a big elevation from your standard afternoon tea that's usually served on Princess cruises. The actual things that we ate, they were much better quality. They were a little more plentiful. And then throughout the event, they kept showing video clips from a gentleman who was a chef to the Queen. And I thought that part was going to be totally hokey. It turned out it was actually really fun. He told a lot of great little stories, some anecdotes. He gave us the history of the tea, how we got to drink afternoon tea, and then told us a lot of fun little tidbits and stories about the Queen and the royal family along the way that were actually, I had to give it to him. I'm like, okay, this is actually fun.
I learned stuff.
Yeah, we actually learned stuff, so it was a lot of fun. So that's another hit on the Sun Princess. The new Royal Tea served in Good Spirits Bar. You must go to Coffee Currents and find the magic clipboard so you can register for it. On our particular ship, we had 3 sea days, so we had 3 opportunities to do it. I think they did 2 seatings. I think, because I heard.
No.
Well, I heard the guy say that, okay, we're trying to do the 2:30 seating right now, or whatever it was. So I don't know.
No, well, there was some confusion because the schedule said it was going to start at 2, but it actually started at 2:30. And I don't remember seeing it on the first sea day, but I know it happened on the last 2.
Gotcha.
And it's $30 plus the 18% gratuity, not included in any of the packages.
Nope. I think it was worth the $30. It was fun. I would totally do it again. I had a good time. Enjoyed it. Excuse me.
Oh, good. They do still have tea time in the
There you
afternoons.
go. There you go. So, question from Donna over on the YouTube side. Would I go on the Icon again? Yes. 1,000% yes. We keep talking about it. It is so freaking much fun. I love the Aquadome Market. I like that they cleaned up a lot of the navigation. You know, Oasis class ships are a lot of fun, but there's a lot of dead ends where like you're trying to get somewhere. Oh, okay, I got to go down a deck. I got to go across. Got to go up a deck, and this, that, and the other. They really cleaned that up. They connected Central Park to the Pearl Cafe, which is great. So you can go right from the Promenade up to Central Park. You can go from Central Park straight across and then right down and into the Luna Surfside, what they call it back there. So they cleaned up a lot of the lines on the ship. Plus, I could see a lot of celebrity was brought in. You know, they kind of like elevated the ship. I want to say in some ways it's like an adult Royal Caribbean ship. They did add some more venues too. So you got dueling pianos. They made boleros bigger and things like that. So we didn't get a chance to go into the Empire Supper Club while we were there because it was closed at the time. I really want to do that experience and see what that's all about. But I would just absolutely get on that ship anytime. Donna said she hadn't been cruising since 2003. Well, that would certainly be a shock to the system to come back to the Icon of the Seas if she was sailing full with around 7,000 passengers. So be prepared for that. But yeah, she's a beautiful ship.
Personally, I was expecting to not like it, and I did. I mean, may not be my favorite ship in the world, but
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. I personally would not sail when the majority of kids are out of school.
Correct.
I would wait till kids are in school for myself.
Yeah, the same here, like sail in January,
Yeah.
February. That'd be a great time
October.
to go. September, September, October be another good set of times to go. Definitely, I would not go on it in the heart of summer, that's
No.
for sure.
Or the holidays.
Yeah, or the holidays. Although we did go on Symphony of the Seas during the holidays, like the week before Christmas, and it was full. I mean, it was absolutely full, and it was fine. But
even there, if I'd have probably preferred it if we'd gone like another 2
she's saying
weeks
that she has to
earlier.
go into summer because of work.
Oh,
Well, if you got to go in
okay.
summer because of work, then you go into summer. Now, one thing I can tell you is that we have friends and family rates on the Icon of the Seas and a bunch of other Royal Caribbean ships. It changes every single week. We get a new list every week, but I do have friends and family rates on I don't want to say a bunch of Royal Caribbean ships, but I've had like as few as 5 and as many as maybe 12 different ships all show up on the friends and family. It just depends on what's available that particular week.
And if you have to go in the summer, I mean, I don't know what they do kind of west of the Mississippi, but
Yeah.
north of the Mississippi, most schools in the north on the East Coast get out in June, and schools and then go back in September, whereas in the South, they get out in May and go back in August.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of time it when maybe only half the country the kids are.
Yeah, if you can maybe do that, that could help. Certainly, we could help you out with that as well. I mean, and we're at the top of the hour, so I'll remind, actually, we're a quarter hour. Good Lord. Time is flying on this one. I'll remind everybody that we are Where's Walter Travel. We're your independent travel agent, and we book cruises, land, luxury, and expedition. Our services are 100% free to use, so if we can help you in any way, wherever you're watching me right now, there are either links in the description, there are links in my profile. You can just simply reach out, and we would absolutely love to help you plan your cruises, your land tours, luxury trips, and certainly expeditions. So certainly do reach out. So thank you, Donna. That is very kind of you. Appreciate that. Let me see. Christina wants to know if you can design a Where's Walter shirt. Why not? Yeah, go ahead. Start sketching some stuff out. Brandy wishes she could cruise when the kids are in school, but you're a teacher. Well, you know.
Yes, we
Sorry about that. We got a good friend. Same thing too. But you know what we did? We went on Virgin Voyages.
Oh, yeah,
No
that's
kids.
the other option.
That's the other option. You go on a ship with no kids on it, or you
In
go
the
on
summer.
an adult-centric ship like a Celebrity. Even Princess. Now Princess will have a lot more kids because it is a multi-generational ship, and Princess has an outstanding children's club. So even though Princess is kind of adult-centric, it's very welcoming to families because of
But
all the kids
It will
clubs.
certainly have less than, say, Carnival, Royal,
Oh, certainly,
Norwegian.
certainly, but it'll have more than Celebrity. It'll have more than Holland America.
Yeah.
Usually. So let's see. So hits and misses. Here's something that wasn't really a hit, wasn't really a miss. It's the new arena. So we don't have your traditional. The theater's usually sitting way up in the front of the ship, and it looked very much like a big Broadway theater. On the Sun Princess, they developed a theater in the round. It is the Princess Arena that can be configured either as a full 360 circle, it can be a 270, or it can be a true traditional theater with a proscenium. Now, the downside to it, again, it is a little bit on the small side. So this is where Princess Premier really comes in handy in the arena. Big section of the arena, actually, it was a big section of the arena, was held for Princess Premier until 5 minutes before the show. At 5 minutes before the show, then they open up everything. So the theater itself was actually quite nice. I thought the theater was well designed. The sound system was fabulous, wasn't overdriving. We could hear everything clearly. So as a performance venue, it was nice. Again, it was small. It would have been nice if maybe it was, say, at least a third larger, even 1/2 larger, so that they could get more people in there. So as a performance venue itself, I thought it was very pretty. I thought the shows were weak for Princess. We have been, that was our 6th different Princess cruise, so we've seen a lot of Princess's original shows, and they're usually very good. On this one, Viva la Musica was a Latin dance, Latin music review. There was nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't the most exciting thing in the world. The singers were great, dancers were amazing.
They were talented performers.
Yeah, it's just the show itself was okay. It's just a music review. Okay, that's fine. And then they didn't want to pay for the rights to a chorus line, so they created their own version of a chorus line. And for me, it just didn't work at all. So as a performance venue, I thought the venue itself was beautiful. It was very well done.
And they had all sorts of nice configurations and stages that can go up and down in sections. It was, but I agree, the shows were kind of flat for me.
John is saying he was surprised and he thought there was a pirate themed production show that never happened. That might be the one that they've already canceled.
Yeah, there's one of the shows that they created.
That they've already canceled. Now, I could tell that one was going to be a technological nightmare because, all the moving parts on it. And it's very possible that they're just not doing it. That's the one I was looking forward to as well. But I don't know. I mean, we've all been on Royal Caribbean and they are the technological masters. It almost seemed like they were trying to make the arena like their answer to Royal Caribbean and give them so many options to do a lot of things. And then they just ended up doing rather basic shows.
Yeah. I can't remember what the name of the show that I heard was canceled was, but it probably is that pirate show.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the one that they were teasing while the ship was over in the Mediterranean. They were kind of like showing a little behind the scenes of it. The ship was out there. They were flying the girl around, and it never happened. So
I did see a pirate lady wandering on the ship upon occasion.
Yeah. So the theater the theater has a lot of potential. So once they get some better shows going on, I think so. So that's not really a hit, not really a miss.
They could even just tweak what they've got and improve it.
Yeah. Another big hit for me was the Promenade on this particular ship. That's deck 9. It wraps around outside the eatery and goes all the way around the back, leads down to the infinity pool on deck 8. There was tons of seating out there, and I do mean tons of seating. Both traditional seating, at a table where you would just sit and eat at a table, and then there's a lot of comfortable seating. I was just seeing, especially at night, there were big groups of people pushing together the chairs and just enjoying themselves out there because there was a lovely breeze out there at night. So the Promenade was a huge hit. And one big piece of advice, if you're eating at the eatery, which is the buffet, and you want to go outside to eat and you're not really seeing anything, go back. Go all the way back to where the Americana diner space is outside, There was almost, in fact, I don't think I ever went by there where there wasn't seating all the way in the back. So just get your food and just go all the way back and you'll find it. What cruise am I talking about? I am talking about the Sun Princess. We just got off the Sun Princess. I don't want to take my medallion off because I want to pretend like I'm still on the ship. I'm going to see if it'll open the door for me when I go up there. But yeah, so we were just on the Sun Princess for 7 days, so we're kind of going over some of our hits and misses, and at the same time, also still answering your questions about cruising in general. So yeah, the Promenade, absolutely beautiful. Deck 9 wraps around. You can also get pizza, burgers, nachos, hot dogs. There's a bar out there, and I believe there's soft serve ice cream out there as well. So yeah, really, really nicely done. An annoying miss for us, the ship. The ship is the largest in the fleet, yet they have the narrowest hallway for the retail ever. And it's like, you know, it's okay if you don't put stuff out in the hallway, but then they put stuff out in the hallway where literally like just one little line of people could get through.
Yeah, so when it's just the normal stands they have going on there, it's not so bad, but when they bring extra stuff out because they're having their sales,
yeah,
then it's
really tight and narrow.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, Princess, could you not have designed just some wider hallways in the retail area
or somewhere else to
something?
put that sales stuff,
Oh
so
my
it's not
God.
blocking.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful. So, but you know, first world problems, right? I'm going to put up my last big miss, which was the infinity pool for me. I was looking forward to that infinity pool, the way it's done. You know, infinity pools are kind of cool. It's on the very back of deck 8. This one was not like sunk in to the deck. They actually built it on top of the deck. So first of all, they did the fishbowl. Why do they design these fish bowls? I don't know. And what I mean by the fish bowl is if you're sitting on deck 8, you're just looking at everybody's legs in the pool. Do we really want to see that while we're sitting there having drinks and talking and all of that? I really don't see the appeal of having the clear wall on the inside of the pool where we can see them. Just make that a solid wall. The other thing about the infinity pool, usually when you've got a nice infinity pool on the back, like the Mardi Gras had one too, that was absolutely beautiful. You just have like nice clean lines all around it so you can just kind of look out. This was very busy all around it. They had like some extra railings and extra, I don't really know what it all was, but there were like some extra walls and stuff all around it. So it was not the cleanest infinity pool. And
I mean, the water itself was clean. We're
well,
not
yeah,
talking
no,
that.
yeah. The water itself was fine. It was actually a big pool.
It wasn't deep though. It was about waist deep,
Yeah,
maybe.
about waist deep, which is what they usually are for infinity pools. And it just the way it was all set up was not quite. It wasn't as inviting as I thought it would be.
And for me, one of the other misses is one of the outdoor smoking areas is on near one side of that. I don't know if it was up a deck or right on that deck.
Yeah.
But when the wind was blowing, since I don't smoke, when the wind was
Yeah.
blowing the right way, I was still getting that smell. So that
Yeah.
was a
That
problem
happened-
for me personally.
That happens on a lot of the pools. So like MSC had the same thing where
Yeah.
they had all that right next
Oh, yeah,
door.
but because it's a small area and more enclosed-ish,
Yeah.
it was a little more noticeable.
Yeah. Christina's saying that they did Spellbound late and you were starting to fall asleep, so they woke you up. So let's talk about Spellbound real quick. Here is my invite to Spellbound. This shows up in your room, and Spellbound is the magic show. It is dinner and a magic show, and you get this lovely little invite. Now, what we did not know about Spellbound when we booked it,
Because we deliberately tried not to know much about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
On
mean,
purpose.
I didn't want to see, I knew about the drinks. Everybody knows about the drinks, right? They have smoke, they do all this stuff. But we didn't know much about the experience because we wanted to be surprised. It's a 4-hour event right now. The way it's set up right now, as I'm talking to you today, it is 4 hours of your evening. So we booked the 8 o'clock dinner. We booked the 8 o'clock show, thinking that, okay, it'll be about 3 hours, we'll be out by 11. Oh, it's 4 hours. So dinner was about the first hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and it was actually a great dinner. I've seen some people talking about, oh, dinner's not that great. I can tell you our dinner was fabulous, and everybody who was at our group seemed to have a good meal. So our dinner was absolutely fabulous. And then the doorman will come to the room And I think there's 4 rows of diners, and they take you row by row to the black door, where you're going to go in the magic room. And then
I think it was 3 rows, actually.
yeah, 3 or 4 rows, I don't remember. But and there's about 30 of us. I want to say there's about 30 of us. So it's 30 people having dinner, and then 30 people are going to go see the show. And once you get to the black door, I don't want to tell you everything because I want you guys to experience it. But first you're greeted and you are told the story of the original Magic Castle, how the Magic Castle even came to be. I thought that was kind of cool. Then then you are allowed into the music room and the bar. And the music room has a ghost piano where you can make requests and get songs played. I think Josie requested It's Raining Men, and the piano started playing It's Raining Men. That was kind of funny. And then you have the bar. And there are a bunch of cocktails to choose from. Now, the evening we were there was only one bartender in the bar. They definitely could have used 2 or 3 just to help move it along. But then they had a secondary bar, probably the casino bar, was also making drinks and sending them over because the casino is literally right outside the wall.
And in fact, when you're in that space and you have to use the restroom, you have to go through the casino, out through the
Yes.
casino to get to the restrooms.
Yes, you did. Oh, by the way, somebody said, what is this? This is the Ocean Medallion. So when you go on a Princess cruise, you don't get a cruise card unless you want one or you're having issues with it. But this medallion takes the place of a cruise card. And what's super cool about it is your door unlocked. When you're about 2 doors away from your cabin, your door unlocked. So by the time you get there, you just walk right on in. You buy everything with it. This is how you enter and exit the ship. So yeah, this is the Ocean Medallion. There it is. So I don't want to take it off because once I do, vacation's over. So, but yeah, so this is how I wear it. You
And
can also
the medallion itself is just the little middle part.
yeah, the medallion's just a little middle part, so you can wear it like that. This is like a little clip. I saw a lot of people doing this. So they're just wearing it like a little clip like that, so you just take it off. But yeah, it's awesome. This is the biggest hit from Princess. I don't know why Carnival doesn't do it yet.
They do have various different accessories that you can do the kind of more wristband like he's
Exactly.
got. You can do a necklace, you can do a bracelet.
And one of the
There's all
super-
sorts of options.
And then the coolest thing that I didn't know until we got on the ship, you don't have to get the Sea Witch. You can like for about $5, you can customize this. And the coolest customization is actually you can get the ship's logo on this thing. And why that's so cool is because these are magnetic. So you can just put these on the fridge. So this is like a keepsake souvenir that stays with you. The actual medallion part stays with you that you take home. In fact, here, I'll just pop it out. So it's the size of an AirTag. Ugh, pinching me. But there it is. There's so this little guy will just go ahead and
Yeah,
sit.
it's
And
got his name and the sailing on it.
yeah, which is
So-
super cool. So this is a keepsake when the cruise is over. So that's super cool.
Because it's magnetic, you can stick it on your
Yeah, just
door
stick it on
or
the fridge
your
and things like
fridge.
that. Yeah. So anyway, so that's what that is. So Spellbound, back to Spellbound. So now we're at the bar and we're enjoying drinks, we're enjoying the show, and they do a sleight of hand show right at the bar. And this guy was phenomenal because we were right on top of him. Nothing happened. So we were sitting right at the bar. So we're at the bar with this guy. He's got his sleeves are rolled up, and there are about 30, 35 of us at the bar, all around him, looking at him from every angle, and literally right on top of him. And he's doing these sleight of hand tricks that you're just like, nope, 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 nope. And none of us could catch what he was exactly doing. So that was great. So I would say that was about like a little 15-minute show that he did. Then we are led into the main theater. And I want to say it was about a 25-minute show that the main magician did. But overall, Spellbound takes 4 hours. So be aware of that. If you're going to do this, I would highly recommend doing the early. Because we didn't want to book the early because we thought dinner was
Yeah,
just too
well,
early.
yeah, it was like
But-
5 o'clock, 5:30,
Yeah,
which
like
is
5,
early
5:30.
for us.
But I would recommend doing the early
Yeah.
show because then you're going to be done by 9:30, and you can hang out in the bar area when the show is over. You're not necessarily
For a
kicked out.
certain amount of time.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend. Now, if they offered this as just a magic show, I would totally do it again.
Which I hear they've been doing on some of the cruises the last
Yeah.
night. I don't know that they
So,
did it on
I'm
ours.
hoping that they will offer this as an option to do just the magic show. Because I would totally go back and do it again. Now, as it is right now, as of today, it's $150 per person. It is a 4-hour event. You get dinner, all the drinks are included in the bar, and of course you get the magic show. So,
And they do have 2 non-alcoholic options if you don't drink alcohol on the bar menu. I mean, you can get other things that aren't on the menu, but they're specially
Yeah.
designed drinks. They have 2 that are non-alcoholic.
yeah, we got Sandra and Josie both saying that dinner was awesome. The pumpkin soup was awesome. Oh my gosh, the pumpkin soup was amazing.
Somebody asked about vegetarian
Yes.
and, Silver Librarian.
Yeah, she wants to know about
the pumpkin soup apparently was vegetarian.
Well,
I
she
did
wants
ask.
to know if you had any vegetarian meals.
I
on
don't know
Sun
that I
Princess.
had an entire vegetarian meal, but I did have bits of my meal. And they do have, I mean, every dinner has some sort, even Spellbound they had the surf and turf option.
Yeah.
They had a fish option and they had a vegetarian option. I ended up getting the fish, but they did have a vegetarian option. And I ate certainly many things that were vegetarian,
Right.
but I don't know if I mean, I'm sure I did, but it might have been just, my meal was pizza and salad, but.
Yeah. So yeah, so
But you
she
have
didn't,
options.
because Rebecca does eat fish now, so she was eating a lot of fish. and
But
a lot of
I
great
did
fresh
notice,
fish.
yeah, I did notice there were several vegetarian options. And from what I understand, if you request it in the main dining room, they have an entire vegetarian vegan menu separate from the regular menu.
Yeah.
If you request,
Yeah.
you can ask them to give you that menu.
Right. And Silver Librarian saying normally this is on a cotton necklace. It's like a lanyard. Yeah, so they'll give it to you free that way. It's awful. Just pay a couple bucks and get the wristband or the necklace or this little guy on the ship.
Or you can go
or
on
just
Amazon and order something that
Yep.
will fit an air tag, and
Yep.
it will.
Or just look up Princess Ocean Medallion and you'll totally find it. So yeah. So you definitely. I saw some people wearing it like a lanyard, and I'm like, it kind of defeats the whole point of it. So yeah, just spend a couple bucks. I think this little wristband is really comfortable. What was it, like $10, $20?
I
know.
don't remember.
Don't remember. We got it on the ship. So.
But if you want to, like I said, there's options on Amazon that will work as well.
Yeah. In
So-
fact, I had one, but I think it was like a kid size because I was like right on the last thing. So.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, the lanyard, if you don't want to spend money, you certainly don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
You can leave it on that, or you can just stick it in your pocket.
Yes, you can just stick it in your pocket. And like I said, a lot of people were just using it with this little guy. They had it clipped to their shirt, or they had it clipped to their pocket.
And that is the device that came free when you got the Premier package.
Yeah,
That
so-
was the extra holder.
So if you get the Premier package, you will get this instead of just that lanyard. So, and we had the Premier package on this particular sailing. So, Aaron is just joining in. Aaron, where have you been? We've been having a great discussion about the Sun Princess. So, but he's just joining in. Any negative with the Cod Balcony? Would you sail on Sun Princess again? Yeah, there are. Well, first of all, would we sail on Sun Princess again? Yeah, I wish I was still on it. I wish I was on the second leg of the back-to-back. I did not want to go. John, who's also watching, was threatening to hide in the closet.
That would be a surprise for the next people.
That would have been a big surprise for the room steward. Hello. I'm glad John didn't do it because I really want him to keep sailing on Princess. But yeah, number one, would I sail on Sun Princess again? Absolutely. I think it's a great ship for 14 nights, up to 14 nights, because there's so many places to eat. There's so much to do on it. There are some misses. We've been going on over to hits and misses.
And I will say, because there are so many options for eating, it's definitely one of the Princess ships I would consider getting the Premier package.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that in a second. Now, negatives with the Cod Balcony. Really, the only negative with the Cod Balcony is if the weather is really rough, you are going to get salt spray. On our way out of Fort Lauderdale, I always like to set my GoPro up and get the sail away, and I'm getting that on the balcony. And like immediately, as soon as we hit the open water, it was rough. And in fact, you felt it on the ship. If you were up on the upper decks, you could feel the ship swaying. It was definitely rough heading out. And, you know, as the ship is cutting through the waves, salt spray is coming back from the bow. And so if I was leaning out, I was getting wet. I was getting a face full of salt spray. That's really the only negative. Other than that, it was super cool being down there. Oh, and I did point out, so there's two other things too. One, if it's really rough and they're expecting the water to come up over and into the Cod Balcony, they do have these massive steel watertight doors that will close on the outside of the door. So we will not be able to go out there. It'll just be an ocean view. The other thing is, if you want connecting balconies, like where you can open the door and connect the two balconies, they open up in sets. So every set of Cod balconies has a steel wall on either side. So the middle, so you got two Cod balconies. That middle door is going to open, and then you got two Cod balconies. So if you're traveling with like 3, 4, 5 cabins and you want to connect all the balconies, you will not be able to do that with a Cod. You would have to go up to a more traditional balcony so that you can open them all up. But yeah, would sail Princess. I also want to sail the new Star Princess at some point. I wouldn't do it in Alaska, but I do want to sail the new Star Princess as well. So Kurt's saying that they needed more time in St. Thomas. Our St. Thomas stop was a bit on the short side. I do agree with that. Oh yeah, Josie, thank you for reminding me. Josie is saying thank you to all who opened up their cabin for our cabin crawl. What we did on the second sea day, and it was great because a bunch of our guests participated in this, we opened up 7 of our cabins for a cabin crawl. Because it's one thing to see them on a brochure, but it's another thing to like actually physically walk in and see what the room really looks like. And I think that was the one day that literally the whole group came together again.
Not entirely, but a good chunk.
Yeah, it was like almost all 37 people got together for this one because we all wanted to see. So we had an interior, we had a sphere balcony, we had our Cod balcony, we had a deluxe balcony.
Cabana mini suite.
Yeah, mini suite, which was John. And one of the most interesting things that everybody loved was the accessible stateroom. One of our guests was staying in an accessible stateroom. Turns out it was actually a suite when the ship was built, but guests were complaining because it's in the front.
Very, very front.
And she said when we left Fort Lauderdale, you could hear the bow was like slamming, like the water was slamming against the bow. So it was kind of noisy. So now they turned it into an accessible. Stateroom. And that was really interesting to see that because, the bathroom's completely flat, so you can roll a wheelchair around and get in there and go into the shower.
Step up to get into it.
And to go outside, when you open the door to the balcony, a little flap came down so that you could roll right out onto the balcony. So there's no step, no step up to go up there.
And obviously there's a lot of space in that cabin.
Yeah, a ton of space in that cabin.
Probably the largest cabin we saw.
Yeah, and it was a suite at one time, so that kind of explains that. But that's a really cool, if you're traveling with a bunch of people, and especially if you have different kinds of cabins, it's kind of a cool way to see what the cabins really look like. It was interesting to see how many of the various balconies were our cabin. Like the cabin itself was identical. It was just, the balcony part that was different. John's mini suite that he had. So John had a reserve or a sanctuary collection mini suite. So we're gonna segue right into the sanctuary next because wow, we saved the best for last, people. Eric's asking, is the Aqua Group cruise full? The ship is not at capacity yet, at least not as of last week. But the prices are really high now. They're over $1,000 more than when we started the group a year ago. And we still have 2 balconies left. They're in the guarantee status now. And we have 2 or 3 interiors left on that ship. So our pricing is up to $1,000 less than it is on the public side.
But if you're getting the balcony, it will be a guarantee.
It will be a guarantee. We have no selection anymore. So let's talk about the sanctuary. The sanctuary was amazing. You're welcome, 702. Certainly reach out if we can help you. The sanctuary is a space that's on most of the Princess ship, and across the rest of the fleet, you can rent it by the day, you can rent it by the week, you can rent it by the half day. There's like all different configuration. And what you're basically doing is you're paying for a padded lounger and then the use of the space. Yeah, so like if you get lounger 23, that's your lounger, and then you get to use the space, which is kind of a tranquil area, beautiful padded loungers. You're not fighting people to get chairs and all of that.
And if you're there
they
at
bring
the
by
time
water.
in the afternoon, you get the afternoon tea
They do
brought to you.
afternoon tea. So it's a nice tranquil space. On the Sun Princess, they changed all of that when the ship came over to the U.S. The sanctuary is now reserved exclusively for suite guests and any other category of cabin that is the sanctuary. And as of right now, there are 2 mini suites and there's 1 balcony.
Yep.
So if you are in any suite, you get the sanctuary. If you are booked in the 2 mini suite categories that are associated with it,
Which is
you get the
M1 and
sanctuary.
M2
And if
currently.
you are in the balcony that is associated with the sanctuary, you get used to the sanctuary. That's it. Nobody else can get in the sanctuary except those people. And the sanctuary is stunning. Absolutely stunning. John, who was watching over on the YouTube side, him and Roy were in the sanctuary area. They were in the mini suite, the M1, I believe, mini suite, which was a beautiful stateroom, by the way, with a larger bathroom. Oh gosh, we didn't even talk about the bathrooms yet. But John arranged with the maitre d' or whatever he is up there.
Concierge?
The concierge. They open up the sanctuary at 7:30 every single morning, and so John arranged it. And thank you again, John, for me to get up there at 7:30 so I could at least take some footage to show you all. I haven't posted it yet. I haven't edited it yet, but the sanctuary has one of the biggest pools that I've seen in like a retreat area. Beautiful large pool. Beautiful loungers everywhere, and then they have cabanas that you can rent for somewhere like around $500 a day, something like that, along either side. They have
They have a
full
bar.
bar up there. They have a ring the bell for champagne at certain times of the day. So John was saying that you ring the bell and then a hand comes through the wall with champagne. We're getting footage of that from John shortly. And the other thing that the concierge said that they're starting to do now was they're starting to plan events so that it turns into an event venue at night as well, or even during the day. Like on sea days, they're going to start bringing up musicians or like, a little acoustic guitar or something like that. And then the day that I was there, they were planning a silent disco for that evening, like just in the sanctuary for the sanctuary guests, which is one of the funniest things to watch in the world. We saw a silent disco going on in the piazza one night. It's just so funny to watch. All these people just dancing around and grooving, and there's no music. So it's really fun. But they said that's what they're going to start doing now with that space. They're going to start looking for some evening things. So that space could turn into like an all-day thing. The sanctuary also has their own restaurant on the back of Deck 9. The Sanctuary Collection, Deck 8, Sanctuary Collection Restaurant is back there. So you get breakfast, lunch, dinner in the Sanctuary Collection Restaurant. And it is gorgeous. Now, the other thing about all of those Sanctuary Collection cabins, they come with Princess Premier automatically. So you're going to get you're going to get unlimited dining, unlimited drinks. You're going to get reserved seating in the theater. You're going to get a lot of things. So to me, dollar for dollar, it comes with a little bit more than the Retreat Collection. Now, the Retreat Collection does have unlimited dining, and they have a lot of other things. But it seems to me that if you just put the 2 lists of the perks side by side, which I think I did a video on that and I've got to edit, it really, this Sanctuary Collection is going head to head with the Retreat now. Now, the negative side to the Retreat is that it's only on 1 ship right now, the Sanctuary Collection is only on 1 ship right now.
I mean, they have sanctuaries on every other.
Yeah, sanctuaries on every
almost every
ship.
other ship.
But right now, the Sanctuary Collection is only on this particular ship. It will be on the Star as well. My feeling is that it will come to the Royal class ship sooner than later, because it's sort of kind of set up for that as well. And then they'll have to decide if they're going to bring it to the rest of the ship. What they may have to do is they may have to send the ships into dry dock to reconfigure the sanctuary space to make it to turn it into something like that for the rest of the ship. but I would suspect that the Sanctuary Collection will come to as many ships in the fleet as they can put it on, because it really does go head to head with the Retreat beautifully.
And it may end up being like, even
Yeah.
on Celebrity, the Retreat is slightly different on the Edge class, because
Yeah.
the Edge class ships, the Retreat has an actual pool.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ships, it just has hot tubs in the Retreat area.
Yeah, and to Silver Librarian, it does not bring class restrictions back. This has been, having special areas of a ship for suite guests, that's just standard on every single cruise ship. So this is what Princess didn't have until now. They had a lounge on some of the ships for the suite guests, but they didn't have that sun deck, that retreat to get away. So I don't think it brings back a class system, especially since you can get a standard balcony and go on up there.
And certainly when you were in the general areas of the ship, you had no idea who was in Sanctuary and who wasn't.
So, MSC has Yacht Club, Celebrity has Retreat,
Haven.
Norwegians had the Haven forever. So I don't think it's a class system at all. It's just, if you want an elevated experience and you're willing to pay for it, then you get that elevated experience. Everybody else gets the entire rest of the ship. So they're getting one section, and then, everybody gets the entire ship. So I don't think it's a class system at all, because especially going on Princess, pricing is relatively low. And then if you really want to go all out, go on MSC and go in the Yacht Club. Holy crap. I can put you in a Yacht Club, interior for less than a balcony on most other cruise lines, and then balconies even sometimes in the Yacht Club. They're ridiculously low. So I don't think it's a class system at all, because everybody has it. So it's just a standard practice on a ship, and it's the same thing with a hotel. You can book the high-end suite, or you can just get the low room. So I don't really see it as a class system. I just see it as, it's just part of cruising. If you want to pay a little bit more.
What's important to you.
Yeah. You're going to get the same experience on the Sun Princess, whether you stay in an interior or you stay in a Sanctuary Collection. The only thing you don't get in the interior is the Sanctuary. That's it. But you get the rest of the ship. So giving up 5% of the ship, I think that's okay. Let's see, what else have we got there? How was the seating in the dome for the shows? We talked about that earlier. There's not near enough seating in there. If you want to see a dome show, you need to line up between 60 and 90 minutes early. There's no reserved seating whatsoever. The premier package, which we had, does not play in the dome. So we did not see the show. Now, Kurt was watching earlier, and some other people were watching earlier, and they said that the show was phenomenal. What?
Like a hawk.
What?
There's a hawk on the fence.
Oh, okay.
I don't see that a lot.
We have a very large hawk sitting right over here. Thankfully, we have a screen, so he's not going to get me. But he's huge. He is huge. So the dome, hindsight 2020, and as somebody who had been on the Icon of the Seas, they should have just covered the whole front of the ship in the dome. It would have made, because the other thing too is when the ship was underway, it was so windy up in the front.
The uncovered part.
You almost couldn't use it, the space that was in front of the dome. There were areas in there where you just couldn't use it because the wind was just whipping. So hindsight being 2020, they could have learned from Royal Caribbean and just actually enclosed the entire front of it. Would have done two things. Would have made it a larger space, better for performance, better for people. Actually, that's just it. It just would have been larger and more practical for both uses. So I thought the dome to me is an unfulfilled promise. Rebecca liked it a little bit more than I did,
Well,
but
not as a
we didn't.
performance venue, but as
Yeah.
the kind of pool relaxing area, although it was closed way too much.
It was closed a lot. Rob wants to know, have we been on the Epic? They only made one in that class and heard it's not the greatest. You are right, they only made one of them.
We have not
And
been on it.
We have not been on it yet. We are actually, it goes out of Canaveral, so we are going to run down one of these days. Why people don't like it is because of the bathroom configuration. They did what they called European bathrooms, where showers on one side and the toilets on the other side, but they did frosted glass on the shower, so you can still see the shadow of the person in the shower. And of course, if you're partners, spouses, that's not really that big of a deal. But if you're just friends going together, something that you may not want to see.
They have added a curtain that you can
so
draw.
they've now added a curtain that if you're in the room, you can close the curtain and not see what's going on the shower. That's why people don't like it the most. I have heard some other things, but
Although I've heard that it's the only Spice H2O, which is their adult area on Norwegian, that has an actual pool in it. The rest of them just have water features. So that would make me excited.
yeah. John is saying that you don't get unlimited specialty dining on Celebrity. Now, the list that I just read said, yes, you do. On Celebrity site. On Celebrity site, they're saying unlimited specialty dining, so maybe that's something that they added in response to Princess. But when I went and looked at the list of the perks for my video, on Celebrity site, they're saying unlimited specialty dining, so maybe that's something they've added since the last time you've been on there. John is saying that the retreat is far smaller, but similar amenities. He's saying a huge boost in value with Premier. So yeah, I'll have to double check that again, but that's what I saw on Celebrity, that they now have unlimited dining, so they may have answered it. Aaron Ross wants to know, what was the best bite of food on the Sun Princess? Aaron is always about the food, and I love that. That's why Aaron and I get along so well. The best bite of food. Boy, that's a really good question.
For two of the best for me were the appetizer and the dessert in the catch that I had. I had this Olay prawns, which was basically shrimp in this kind of buttery, garlic, peppery sauce. It was amazing. And then I had these cream puff desserts with chocolate sauce over, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah, I thought my fish and Rudy's was outstanding. Rudy's, the catch by Rudy, that was absolutely phenomenal. Let's see, and then I went to Dario's and Lido and teppanyaki. Oh, Alfredo's, the pizza, outstanding. And then I have to say the teppanyaki for me, okay, so the best bite on the ship was the scallops and the teppanyaki, for sure. For me, it was the best teppanyaki experience that I've had at sea. So we've done Norwegian, we've done Royal Caribbean, and we did MSC, and now the Sun Princess. So this is a first for the Sun Princess. Those scallops were amazing, simply amazing. So yeah, that was the best bite I had on the entire ship. So as always, Aaron, fabulous question. Fabulous question. Yeah, John, look again. See if you see it too. So thank you, Brandy. Yacht Club is the best, better than Haven. So Rob, that's a very interesting point that you make, because the Yacht Club actually comes with more features than the Haven. If you stack the perks up side by side, the Yacht Club comes with more. So we're very interested in it. We're looking at the World America, but then Rebecca also said something's coming to Port Canaveral.
The Grandiosa.
Yeah, the Grandiosa, which is a sister to the Meraviglia.
Yeah, I guess the Seashore is going to Galveston, I believe.
Yes, Seashore is going to Galveston.
And when that goes, I guess the Grandiosa comes and does. But I did notice, very interestingly, all the itineraries on the Grandiosa do not have any overnights or even late nights on the island, their private island.
Yeah, Ocean
They only
Key.
go, it's like 8 to 6.
Yeah, it seems like more and more are starting to do that.
Yeah.
They're only reserving it for like one ship. So, the great question, Harley, scale of 1 to 10, Margaritaville Islander. I give it a good solid 8. You know, it's,
If you're not expecting,
if you're going in
luxury.
with the right expectations, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a fun ship. Is it a new ship? No. Is it a perfect ship? No. But the cheeseburgers are awesome. The pizza is great. Shows were surprisingly good. Music throughout the ship was fabulous. The thing that the one that really blows me away is still the Hemisphere Dancer craft bar. I was not expecting a bar of that caliber to be on that ship. It's a really good bar. Staff is phenomenal. So if you're going on there expecting, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, you're going to be disappointed. But if you go in with the right expectations, I think it's a good solid 8. We have a huge group going in February if you want to join us, February 11th through the 17th. Okay, John is saying unlimited specialty dining in the retreat are for royal suites and higher. Thank you for that clarification. So that is a difference between Celebrity and Princess, where unlimited dining is for anybody who's in the Sanctuary Collection. Doesn't matter if you're in a
Because it's
balcony
part
or
of
the
the
top
premier
end.
package, which you get.
It is. It is. So, and Harley, so we're going out February 11th through the 17th. We've got a huge group, about 150 people. Tony and Jenny B from Loca, our good friends, are going to be there. We have a Captain Vow renewal that is part of the event. And it just turns out that Tony and Jenny's wedding anniversary is in December, or in February. Who knew? So, what shows did we see on the Sun Princess? We actually saw a bunch of stuff in the Piazza. There was just stuff going on all the time. A lot of great shows going on in the Piazza. But the primary shows that we saw were La Musica in Viva La Musica in the theater, which was a Latin music collection. It was good. Dancers were good. Well, I don't think the show was great. It was just like a musical review, but the dancers were fabulous. The singers were fabulous. I just wasn't that impressed with the overall show. And then we started to watch Stage Struck, which is their version of a chorus line. They should have just paid for a chorus line. It was, again, nothing to do with the singers or the dancers. Just the show itself wasn't very good. So we left. We left after about 10 or 15 minutes. So, how is the pizza on Norwegian? I don't know, to be honest with you.
I can't even remember pizza.
I don't even remember
Norwegian.
having pizza on there. Sorry, it's been a while. I don't even remember.
Trying to remember. Well, I guess they have some pizza in the one specialty restaurant, the Italian one.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't remember if they have, maybe on the buffet. I don't know. I don't really like the Norwegian buffet personally, so I
Right.
don't go there much.
Gotcha.
But
Thanks, Donna. Have a good day. Zachary, I'll be there in a second. Dora, the crew speaks real languages. You mean French, Spanish, etc. Most of the crew speaks English, and then whatever their native languages are. There are multiple crew members who speak quite a few languages, and it really makes me, I'm like jealous. I'm like, wow, they can speak so many. Dario's was Christina's favorite. That is awesome. Did we go to Spellbound? Yep, we just did a chat about that earlier. Here it is. It is a 4-hour event. So you need to know that between dinner and the part in the Magic Castle, it is a 4-hour event. Is it worth $150? I think it's worth it to do it one time for sure. I would like them to open up the option where we can just pay for the magic part of it. Just go to the bar, just the Spellbound part of it. That would be awesome. But yeah, it's great.
and I'm assuming this comment from Cheryl is about the Norwegian pizza, and she says it is in the buffet for lunch and dinner.
Oh, good. And Cindy said the chef table is amazing on the Sun Princess. Is priority embarkation for full suites or are mini suites included for Sun Princess? When we went on the Sun Princess, there was no secondary line. When we went on the Sky Princess, we saw the Elite and Platinum line. That line didn't exist, at least not early on. We were there.
Pretty early.
We were there between 10:30 and 11, and there was just one line. There was no secondary line for the Elite and the mini suites or any of that. It may have come
Although
later.
They did have a separate door if you were in a scooter or wheelchair.
Yeah, that's it. So Zachary wants to know what was the best drink, or is that a separate video? I am not really, I like margaritas, but I don't really drink that many of them. But they had one called the 24 karat margarita, which I think had 2 or 3 tequilas in it. It was really good. It was really, really tasty. Did you have a favorite? You didn't really drink much, but did you have a favorite drink?
I didn't. I was mostly drinking water, tea, and occasionally a ginger beer. So
Yeah.
I can't really comment.
There you go.
I will say for me the one non-alcoholic drink I did have in Spellbound for me was just a little too sweet.
And on NCL, Eric is saying that the pizza in Anda is an entire pizza as an appetizer, and it's amazing.
We haven't been on a ship with Anda yet.
Yes,
We will be on the Aqua.
We will. So Eric, maybe we'll all go together to that, because you're going to be on that ship with us. John said Dario's was incredible, but suggests not doing that on the last night.
Yeah.
The cruise.
I was thinking that was a bad idea when we saw you waiting in that line.
I could see that. And by the way, if you ever get a chance to cruise with John and Roy, oh my God, they are absolutely hilarious. Had so much fun cruising with you guys. I had so much fun cruising with everybody. That's the one big thing I want to do. I want to make sure everybody knows we would love to have you come join one of our group cruises. We have like 4 of them. right now that are going, and I'll run.
And we're talking all sorts of, a
Whoops.
variety of price options too.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So let me walk through them real quick since we're getting towards the end of our show anyway. In April 16th, 2026, we're going with Tony and Jenny B on the Loca Triangle Cruise. It will be the very first ship to sail out of Philadelphia in decades. It's going to be the Norwegian Jewel, sailing for 7 nights, April 16th through the 23rd, 2026. From Philadelphia, Tony and Jenny B are going to be your hosts for that cruise. There will be multiple events. There will also be 2 days of tours in Philadelphia that we're planning before the cruise. If you want to join us, April 16th through the 23rd. As I go through all of these, they are all on my website. If you go to where'swaltertravel.com, there is a tab that says Group Travel. All of these groups are right there, so if you want to come and join us, we've got interiors, we've got ocean views, we've got balconies, anything you want to do, you can get it, as long as they're available. On the Margaritaville Islander, Tony and Jenny B going to be joining us on that one too, and they're going to host a meetup during the cruise. February 11th through the 17th of 2025, the first 6-night sailing of the Margaritaville Islander. Because it's over Valentine's, we've asked if the captain can do a group vow renewal, and they said absolutely, so there will be a group vow renewal. Even if you're just dating, just come along and have some fun and join that.
It's not a legal thing, it's just a fun thing.
Yeah, it's just a fun thing. That's going to be February 11th through the 17th, 2025. We'll go to Key West, Progresso, and Cozumel with a couple of sea days. Then the long one, we are doing Hawaii in February of 2026. Website is where'swaltertravel.com. You're watching on TikTok. There are links in my profile that will take you right there. If you're watching us on all the others, the links are in the description. But where'swaltertravel.com, group travel. February 4th, 2026, we will be doing a 16-night cruise to Hawaii and back from Los Angeles. We will be on the Emerald Princess. That's in the Crown class. Lovely class of ship. February 4th through the 20th, 2026. Los Angeles, Honolulu, Hilo, Kahului, Kauai, and then of course Ensenada, because we do have to make a stop in another country. And Rebecca and I are planning to do, say, 3 or 4 days in Disneyland prior to the cruise. So once those hotels open up, we'll have more information about that. If you're looking at Alaska, we still have time to book you guys at up to $2,200 off the public prices. This is Alaska, June 26, 2025 for 12 nights on the Oceania Riviera. There are only 1,200 guests on this ship. A very small ship. It's 12 nights, 8 ports, prepaid gratuities, the Prestige Select drink package in there, and $600 of shore excursion credit are all included with that particular cruise. We still have some categories left. Now that one is balconies and above only. We don't have any more insides and ocean views in our allotted group. And then last but not least, we are going on the brand new Norwegian Aqua, May 31st, 2025. That will be Port Canaveral, Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Tortola, and Great Stirrup Key, May 31st through June 7th, 2025. So literally a couple of weeks before we go to Alaska, we're going to do the Caribbean on the Norwegian Aqua. And all of that is available by going to where'swaltertravel.com, or you will find links in my description or the profile, depending on where you're watching. So we would love to have you guys come. We had such a fun time with everybody on this last group. It was such a lovely group of people. And, you know, it was just so lovely to see everybody. So, no, Betty Sims is saying the presentation of the drinks in Spellbound were great, but
Oh,
she
yeah.
didn't like the taste. She tried 3 different ones and wasn't thrilled with hers. I had the Artemis, which is the one that comes in the owl. I liked it. I like that one.
That's what I had
But-
non-alcoholic, and I thought it was too sweet.
Yeah.
Maybe the alcohol helps.
I will
dull
say
it.
that I heard the least positive reaction to the drinks in Spellbound. That the presentation was cool, but they didn't really like the flavors that much. I like the Artemis, so. So folks, we've been at this for an hour and a half. I know I've got some meetings coming up, including Zachary, who's watching me on YouTube. So I know that I've got some meetings coming up that I need to get ready for. So if we can help you in any way with your travels, It's where'swaltertravel.com. Our services are 100% free to use. So why wouldn't you use our services? We've been cruising almost 20 years, and we take all of that knowledge and we find the absolute best ships for you.
Or we do our
best
darndest.
vacation. And sometimes we don't even find you a ship. Sometimes we find you land tours, an expedition. So yeah, we book it all. We take care of everything for y'all. So John, that is so awesome. Thank you. John says he's got a lot of laundry to do. You know, you could have done what Zach did and took advantage of the laundry on the ship and just done your own laundry up there. I love that. New tip. On the last day of the cruise, go ahead and take advantage of the free laundry on Princess.
Well, I don't know if it's just they haven't gotten things working yet, but on the Sun Princess, it's free.
Yeah,
On the
and
other
we're
ships-
talking about the laundromat. We're talking about the laundromat.
The self-serve laundromat. On the
Yeah.
other ships, you do have to pay for it.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, so again, I am Walter, your independent travel advisor. If we can help you in any way with your cruises, land, luxury, or expedition, certainly do reach out. where'swaltertravel.com. Our services are 100% free to you, and we would just love to help you with your travel. So no show on Thursday night. We usually do a show on Thursday night, but it happened to be Halloween. So I could do a live and surprise the kids at the door and say, surprise, you're on camera, but we're not going to do that.
Yeah,
so.
parents might not appreciate
Yeah,
that.
so have a happy Halloween, and then we'll be back next Sunday at 10:30 a.m. to do this all over again, and we'll be talking about all things cruising. So wherever you are in this amazing world, I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for joining in.